Hello and welcome to Bad Boy Cinema. I'm your host, Rick Reel. Oh, okay. And that was Elliot Film.
Elliot Film.
I didn't even finish introducing you yet. You could have waited.
Sorry, I'm thirsty.
What do you have?
Drinking crude oil. You ever have crude oil? I've been drinking a lot of crude oil directly
What is this,
the
like Beverly Hillbillies? Come on.
Look,
folks.
Times are tough. Sometimes you gotta drink crude oil.
Got a little
unrefined
crude diet cola over here.
Shout out Diet Cola of one brand and one brand only.
One brand. And if they want us to name it,
we won't say
they can do an ad. They can do it. They can get in touch with us. Otherwise, we won't say what it is.
Could be Royal Crown.
But it is very popular. It could be Royal Crown.
Could be Royal Crown.
After watching Taxi Driver, I think I've become a huge RC Cola head.
Yeah, I believe it, honestly. Yeah. I mean, the product placement of Royal Crown Cola in Taxi Driver.
It's seamless.
It's one of the only things that has stuck with me about that movie.
Yeah. Unlike this week's movie, where a lot of things stuck with me, and maybe not necessarily in the most pleasurable of ways.
It's like a Velcro where like it sticks to you, but it's like it's got the hooks in you.
Well, or it's like when you have Velcro shoes and like you've worn them for a while, so there's like little pieces of like dirt and lint and other stuff that's like stuck in the Velcro, and you don't want it there.
Yeah, but it's
that's kind of how I feel. I'm the Velcro though.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And the movie is just like the little bits of dirt and lint.
And like sticks.
Just little loose.
You know what I'm talking. We've all had that. You're
all had light up Velcro shoes.
Yeah.
I wish I still did. We got him. He had light up shoes. I never had light up shoes. I grew up poor. Everybody, poor things. Me. I didn't have fucking light up shoes. I wanted them real bad.
I think you could get them. Velcro. I know. You spent like $900 on shoes.
Yeah, as an adult, but they don't make cool shoes for adults that light up. But as a child, I didn't even have Velcro. I had the curly laces where you don't know how to tie your shoes.
I didn't know they made this. What? Curly laces?
It's a lace that looks like a phone cord from the 90s, and you just pull it, and because it's twisty, it doesn't slide back down. So that's how it stays tight. But then you just got like little alien... And
I didn't know you were curly shoelace poor. That's a whole new level of poor I didn't even know existed.
Oh yeah,
folks! If you were curly shoelace poor, send us an email.
Sound off in the email.
Have we gotten any emails? Maybe we could do like a little mailbag before we.
Yeah, I would love to do a mailbag. If any single person ever at any point sent us an email.
Maybe there's
just let the record show. If you send us an email, we will read it on the show. We don't have the opportunity to be picky.
Yeah,
you could say anything. You could say literally anything,
and we might not read 100% of what you write in. But I mean, we'll read it. We might not say.
We will name you.
Yeah. Depending on what you say, we might throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
And maybe if you show us good favor, perhaps we will do you a solid turn as well. So just,
Who's to say? Burger King. I know Burger King got in that Twitch controversy where they were donating $5 to get the voice to text on popular streams. And they're like, eat Burger King. Here's $5. When normally getting a streamer to say that costs thousands of dollars. You could.
I think that's a smart.
We're stupid.
System.
I mean, they have very large marketing budgets designed for that specific thing. But we're stupid.
Yeah.
We will.
So are you killing time? Or do we not have any emails?
We don't have any emails.
Okay, perfect. But send us an email.
Bad Boy
Send us a
Cinema
picture of
fan
your
mail.
curly shoelaces.
Yeah, if you still have those, mine had like they weren't glow in the dark, but they had like one of the threads of all the threads that make up a lace was glow in the dark. So like,
okay, you had light up shoes.
It was one string was technically.
In a sense, you had light up shoes, so I think you're making.
It was reflective. There's no electricity involved.
Did it not light up in certain contexts?
It was reflective.
I'm using some real loose definitions, but I'm not strictly speaking wrong. So
I think you're kind of wrong.
I disagree.
If you ordered light up shoes on ebay.ca and they hit you with one thread of reflective coating, you might have some choice words for John eBay. Anyway, this is Poor Things. Me, you, and everyone we know. Am I right, folks?
Folks.
Yorgos L. What are your opinions on Yorgos?
Yorgos, man. Well, first of all, I'm glad that for the our little naming convention that we invented and didn't take from anything, really working in our favor for this week's, because I don't know how to pronounce our close personal friend Yorgos's last name. So calling it Yorgos L, that's great. Love that. I don't think I've seen any of his other pictures. He did Mother, right? If I recall.
Perhaps he did Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Lobster, The Favorite.
No, he didn't do. Who did Mother?
I don't know, Ari Aster.
He did The Favorite. Didn't that also have?
No, Kinds of Kindness also has Emma, which is also Yorgos L joint. And
he does some silly movies, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a goofball, but he's also kind of art house.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the vibe I got from this movie.
I would say that he's like, I don't know, he might be like a modern John Waters kind of, where he's like in the art community, but he's clearly very lowbrow.
He is. Well, I think we should talk about the general gist of the movie and the content within the movie before we kind of break down everything else, right? So
Sure.
Willem Dafoe's in this. He plays like a scientist guy, kind of like a Dr. Frankenstein sort of character, if you will. And Emma Stone plays a lady who kills herself, and she was pregnant. And then the good doctor, Willem Dafoe, puts the infant from the suicide lady who's still alive, takes the infant's brain and puts it in the adult lady. Okay.
Yep. That's correct.
And then the rest of the movie, essentially, is sort of like a really rapid coming of age story.
Yeah.
She very quickly progresses in age. And then that's kind of it, right? But a big part of that coming of age story is Bella, the name of
Emma Stone's
character, has a sexual awakening.
Yeah.
When her brain is clearly not fully cooked.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
She absolutely certainly does. It does have a bit of like anime loophole pedophilia.
It was definitely, and like the Western version of anime loophole pedophilia is like, ooh, maybe it's always been bad. I'm saying that because it has always been bad, but it felt worse in a way
because it's not drawings.
It's not a cartoon. I'm like, oh, that's a real person. This is
like when you watch an anime, you're like, oh, one person could have drawn this by themselves. This is like a lot of people are involved.
A lot of people involved were like, yeah, let's make the Incredible Hulk an unknowing-ish pedophile. And also, what I found very weird about this movie is that kind of the pedophilia, not completely, but it's kind of played as a goof a little bit. A little bit.
How do you mean exactly? I'm not necessarily against you.
So, Mark Ruffalo's character, the lawyer guy, who he's portrayed as basically like a big fucking loser, and it's very funny that his life is like terrible.
Yeah.
And the way that I was interpreting the movie, and I don't know if this is me, I don't know if this is the intention of Yorgos L. I don't know, but it portrays him being like trying to be suave and hitting on Emma Stone, who at like maybe 7 mental brain age, I don't know, but like
she's
him
older.
Like putting the moves and like him being like, I like this girl because she's stupid, and I don't know that's because she's like a single digit age mentally, but I'm into it,
Yeah.
And that I thought they were doing that, be like, look at how silly this guy is because he's a pedophile. He doesn't know it though. And I'm just like, that's kind of weird.
Right? I think my interpretation is that everybody's interested in Bella, right? Everyone's like, ooh, Bella.
Yeah.
Like our close personal friend like, Max is like, I'm going to marry this woman.
And he has a different word for her when he first meets her.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh when he said it because it really caught. There's a lot of great lines in this movie. One thing I will say, it's very funny in a very silly way that most of it I was like,
I mean, like this is a comedy, and it's a
dark comedy.
Certainly
for sure.
A strange movie for a comedy.
Yeah,
it's certainly a unique comedy film. They're not making movies like this anymore.
Sometimes when I watched the movie, I was like, I'm kind of glad they don't necessarily make movies like this all the time, because the first like, I don't know, 30 minutes, let's say 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of setting up the premise, and it's in black and white. She's set to marry the Max guy, who's the assistant of the
doctor,
of the good doctor. And then the lawyer, the Incredible Hulk, shows up and whisks her away to an adventure because she wants to see the outside world because her brain's just going super fast.
But also because she's been kind of like held in a prison.
Right. But also like kind of at least up until that point, like for her own well-being and safety.
Is it she for was her kind own of well-being like, and safety, or is it so she doesn't get recognized in the city? It'd be like, hey, you're the woman who disappeared mysteriously. Nobody knows that she killed herself, but like,
true,
you're the woman who disappeared mysteriously, just walking around town like Elizabeth Smart. Shout out,
I guess that's part of it too.
It's a harrowing tale, but my interpretation of the let's say pedophilia in the film is that everybody wants a piece of Bella. Everyone's interested. She's on the cruise. People are like, Bella, interesting.
She's a little certain special spice to her. And the spice is she's a child.
Yeah. And,
which is bad.
Someone tries to marry her. She gets whisked away. That dude starts like getting a little too interested. Somebody else tries to whisk her away. And then she whisks herself away. But
and then she's whisked away again by her own curiosity. Yeah. Just a lot of finding it. Oh, you make your point. I'll make another point.
Yeah, a lot of this is, I gotta get Bella, and then Bella starts speaking in full sentences and like has her own opinions, and everyone's like, Bella kind of sucks, dude. Anyone? Am I wrong here? Anyone know what I'm talking about? Bella kind of sucks, dude.
All of a sudden, just
all of a sudden, people turn on Bella because she has her own thoughts and opinions, and I think that's what the deal with the pedophilia is. It's I've read a lot of reviews on this film, and a lot of people are like, this is not feminism. This is very weird. And I don't think it's supposed to be feminism. It's not empowering women. It's just kind of making fun of men.
Well, and I see. I think it is a little.
It's good.
It is making fun of it. So my read of the movie was everyone who because all the guys show explicit interest in Bella, right? Which, and I think it is at least early on, and I'm including the doctor in this, even though he kind of like backtracks a little bit, but like I still think he was a little sus. So I think all the men in the movie are coded to be kind of at best cringe.
Yeah.
And it seems it's like, it's a coming of age story. And then also it's like, these are the different kinds of loser men that are going to be in your life, like as a woman. I guess, I don't know, but these are the different kinds of loser men in your life. And then the end of the movie is, kind of the very ending, maybe not the journey, but the destination seemed a little bit like a feminist power fantasy feels like a strong way of describing it. But like I was getting a hint of that, the way that, she's a doctor and she has her husband who is the least bad of everybody, and also her like lesbian friend, lover person on the side.
Yeah.
And then also her ex-husband / dad.
Yeah.
Is a goat.
And we love that for her.
And I was just like, okay. And then there's the other girl who's her noodle's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because they make another one. They're like, we made one. What if we make another one? And she's just kind of stupid the whole movie.
What if we did it again? But in making that second lady, which like they don't really go into how they
didn't need to have the second lady. I
really did.
Watching the movie, I was expecting that to go somewhere, and she's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I think that serves to show the good doctor's character development of like, I refuse to be invested in this baby that I've created. Because it's like, well, she ran away from me last time, so this time I'm going to do the same thing, except I won't be upset if she runs away. That's my buffer. That's my cross to bear.
He's a man of science.
He does love science. And this is a Frankenstein retelling. And what you may not know about Frankenstein, dear listener, is the green guy is the monster. But really, the monster is Frankenstein.
Whoa. Yeah. I didn't know that, actually. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Because I've been in crying.
Nobody's ever said that before. But the Frankenstein is the monster, is actually how it goes.
But then again, in this one, Willem Dafoe, I mean, he's not a great guy, but he's not one of the worst guys. But again, I think all the guys are still bad.
Yeah, there's no good guys. The one criticism... Now, I really like this film, for the listeners.
How would you rate it?
I gave it a 4-star.
Okay. Yeah.
Out of 5, folks.
I was a 3.5.
Yeah.
Which is my kind of standard rating.
Yeah, you're in a 2.5, 3 range usually. 3.5 is pretty good for you.
Yeah.
I went through phases with this film. During it, especially, I was like, this is a lot.
It starts off really a lot.
When it cuts to color, you're like, now,
it's such a relief. At least it was like really once they get on the boat. The boat is where I started actually liking the movie and having a good time. But it's like when it's in black and white, Emma Stone is just breaking things because like mentally she's like a baby, and like there's just a lot of weird shit happening that just kind of seems weird for its own sake. Like I get it, I understand what they're doing.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it feels like, oh, is she peed on the floor because she's a baby? But like you're making it, it's weird. And I think that is the point. It's uncomfortable, but I didn't like it. I don't have to like it.
You don't have to like it.
Then she goes to Portugal, and then she has a lot of sex, which I didn't like seeing. I didn't like seeing Mark Ruffalo's ass.
Yeah, the amount of sex. Now, I don't use this word lightly. It's excessive.
It was a lot.
It's
really
quite
did not
a
need to
lot.
be that much. And I think we were saying on the podcast, I don't know if this was on the podcast last episode or if this was off the air, but I was talking about how, is this a movie I could watch in the office while I'm working? And you said no. And you gave me some great, it might be the only good advice you've ever given me, because I was like, dodged a bullet for sure.
Yeah. Taxi Driver, also not one that you should watch in the office, but this one would for sure get you would get you written up.
We shouldn't watch any movie in the office, but this is definitely
yeah. I mean, you could watch I don't know, The Mask. Nobody's gonna be mad if you watch The Mask.
Yeah.
Let them watch The Mask, everybody. Come on. I like this film, but I did go through some moments where I was like, this is becoming too much. So, it takes a while. You got to sit with it. You got to give it its full runtime to appreciate it. And I do think that this would benefit from a rewatch. Knowing where it goes, to be like, okay, let me see all the
knowing
things
I can
that
tune
doing.
out the first 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, but maybe they're doing some foreshadowing and stuff and doing little Easter eggs in the black and white that I didn't catch,
I really don't want to rewatch the black and white.
That's fine. That's you. I think our good friend Yorgos is an intricate filmmaker.
No, I don't disagree with that, but
I think there's interesting thing. Oh, for sure.
It's uncomfortable.
For sure.
And as a character, Bella becomes quite fun once she's like, her brain's developed.
Yeah, once she switches on.
The frontal lobe is good to go.
Yeah. Drake,
kind of
pay
fun.
attention.
She says some good things. Like,
pay attention. Women, once their brain turns on when they're like 25, then they're really rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? Before
that's the case for everyone.
Oh yeah, but I'm just Drake in particular.
You're okay. Yeah.
I'm speaking to Aubrey Graham right now.
Yeah. I don't know if he's learned that lesson. I bet he really liked this movie for the first half.
Like the first half of this movie.
He saw Mark Ruffalo pop up. He's like, damn, this dude just like me for real. It probably plays out very similarly, I would guess.
Yeah, but then about halfway through, like, yo, why does Bella suck all of a sudden? Why did I lose all interest in Bella? Yeah, Bella honestly kind of owns house in this film.
Like the best part of the movie, if it wasn't for the fact that it's where the sex picks back up again, I didn't like that too much. The brothel was very funny.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And like it was, I didn't
jokes and
she was doing bits.
Yeah.
The bit, like, again, it's a weird bit, and maybe I'm bad for finding it funny, but where the guy's like, I want to show my kids how to bang, and then you're like, oh, like, are the kids gonna bang her? And then like it turns into like a weird like sex ed thing where they like turn and talk and the kids are taking notes. Like, that's really funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And it might have been the only good sex part of the movie, because it's really funny. Yeah. And it's like they made the brothel thing kind of, I don't want to say empowering, but like I was like, yeah, sex workers.
Yeah.
They're great. And they're not being coerced or, taken advantage of in any way. That was kind of the vibe that took.
Yeah. I was confused. I don't know what the deal was with the madame.
Why was she biting her?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Why is she biting? That must mean something. There's some kind of thing going on in Yorgos' film brain that's like, this is
there's
good.
Like a vampire
this is correct.
Thing, like maybe trying to like steal her youthful essence. I don't know. I also don't know why she's so tattooed. I don't know if the actress was all that tattooed or if that was like a deliberate. We want the madame to be very short, very old, and very tattooed.
Yeah.
And have a raspy, voice. I don't know.
I feel like actors bring a lot to a role. I feel like that was, you just have like a vague idea of like, you're just gonna be like a woman who's like kind of mean, but like overall love in her heart, and she bites the earlobes of Emma Stone. And then that lady came and was like, check me out.
Yeah.
I will say Emma Stone, kind of like incredible acting.
So, okay, I wanted to talk about this. I kind of disagree. Not that, and I don't want to say that she did a bad job. I think there's a certain type of actress that you really need to have that can pull off all the weird shit going on. And there's a lot of attention to detail. But it felt like to me that it was like not necessarily, again, not bad acting and not, I'm not even going to say not good acting, but it's not like incredible acting, but there was a lot of acting. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of acting.
There's a lot of acting.
I think why I say it's incredible, why she did such a good job, is the nuances of like the understanding you see on her face, particularly in the black and white, where you're like, she's getting stuff. I feel like she really is a baby brain. You know, there's some parts where it's over the top and she's like smashing a plate and she's pissing on the floor and you're like, okay, anyone can do that. But when she's like figuring stuff out,
I'm a little bit there. Yeah. That, you know,
I think the nuance of her, particularly her facial acting is quite astounding.
At least in the beginning, I'll agree. I think a lot of the smashing and how uncomfortable everything was, and you know, a lot of the crudeness of the beginning part, that I think maybe I'm taking away from her performance more than I should be. But I still think, you know, and I've said it before, I think when we were talking about Oppenheimer on this show, you know, Lily Gladstone's performance in Killers of the Flower Moon, I still think is a much more subtle and nuanced and more interesting
haven't seen
performance.
May never see it.
You should see it.
Well,
I think you need Apple TV in order to.
They're not doing a physical release.
I hope they give it to Criterion.
Marty S has decided he is anti-media preservation. So,
well, let's not
sorry, Marty.
Words in his mouth.
Sorry, Marty.
I think that's Apple, but I think they did it with The Irishman where they put it on Criterion. So I'm hoping we'll get a Criterion release because it's very good. I would like to own it. It's a good movie.
I would like to own it as well, but I never will.
I would rewatch that for this podcast, by the way, if we want to do a very late Oscar roundup. You know,
if they choose to allow me to watch it, sure.
You don't get Apple TV up there?
No, I don't have an Apple. I don't have any Apples.
You can download the app. It's not. You don't need an Apple product.
No,
I have Apple TV on my PlayStation.
I don't have a PlayStation.
You have a phone? You have a computer?
What's that? Got him, folks. I know what that stuff is. I have a PlayStation. It's just a PlayStation 2 from 2002. I got frickin' the Scooby-Doo game on it. Does not have apps. It does have the internet. Does not have apps. Yeah, good. I would say good film. I'm going to say a strong good. Perhaps potential to increase on a rewatch. The one criticism, I don't even know if this is like criticism, it's just something that I saw somebody point out. There's like one black character in this movie, too. But like, there's one, the woman, and then the dude on the cruise, Gerard Carmichael, who's great. Shout out Gerard.
Yeah. Shout out. He's cool.
And it's like you have like kind of one black character because the woman's even not really in it that much. She doesn't have that many lines.
She exists just to kind of be a bouncing pad. You know.
Yeah. But to have that character teach her what poverty is a little funny.
Yeah. Not the most diverse of films for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt like they were kind of checking off boxes with Gerard and his woman.
Well, because when I was watching the movie and when Gerard showed up, I was like, okay, like cool. And I just wasn't paying attention up until that point. And then like now that you're pointing it out now, I was like, oh yeah, it was really just the two of them, and that was it.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of a bit
yeah,
peculiar.
and they're like, Gerard Carmichael, he's black, he's gay, and his friend in the movie is like, I guess pansexual or something, and it's like, check. Yeah. I don't know. She was
just fine. She was chill as hell. She was a cool old lady.
She was great.
How about the general? I think my favorite line in the movie was so at the end, towards the end of the movie, before like the last like 20 minutes or something, Max, the assistant, and Bella are going to get married because she goes on her adventure. She comes home. She's like, I've had enough. Like this is fine. We can do this. I'll be a doctor. We're chilling. And then her as in the lady who killed herself husband shows up and is like, hey, you're my wife actually. And she's like, let's see what all this is about. Like, I'm curious. And so they get in the carriage and he pulls up to his house and he pulls out a gun. He's like, me and the servants have been having some disagreements lately. And I thought that's just the funniest thing, pulling a gun to go into your own home.
Yeah, hilarious. That was great. Just having the gun like at the dinner
like the guy's the biggest piece of shit in the whole movie, and not even like in a funny way. Like Mark Ruffalo is like a funny piece of shit. Yeah, and it's just a loser.
Yeah, he's like a down and out loser kind of guy.
Because he doesn't succeed at doing just about anything, I guess, other than like he's apparently good at fucking, but that's about it. And then everything else, he just is the biggest loser. And then the general shows up and he's like, I'm the biggest piece of shit with no redeeming qualities. And also you were too.
Yeah.
But I guess you killed yourself, so I guess that's a redeeming quality because I don't know.
Yeah, it's redemption.
Yeah.
She tried. She came back.
And then the movie just kind of ends.
Yeah, I feel like there's a director's cut that's like another hour long, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can cut out a ton of the sex in this movie. You could chop down which chops down the some of the weirdness in the beginning. You don't need all of those weird scenes. You need like maybe one. You know, and you can cut out most of the sex scenes with Mark Ruffalo. You can cut out most of the sex scenes in the brothel, and that's probably like 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like no exaggeration.
It's quite a lot.
It's a lot.
Is nude for a lot of this film.
Yeah.
Bush and boobs. And, love that for her. She's certainly come a long way from Superbad.
And Easy A.
Shout out Easy A though. What a picture.
What a picture. Yeah, we can get Easy A on this podcast.
I just watched Easy A
like a month ago. Another tip of the hat to Miss Bynes.
Yeah, shout out Miss Bynes.
Imagine Poor Things starring
Ms. Bynes.
Ms. Bynes. That would be crazy. I think she's the only other actress who could do it.
Honestly, truthfully, yeah.
I think it would, honestly, that might be the only casting change. No, honestly, listen to this.
Okay.
Instead of Mark Ruffalo, you slot in Leonardo DiCaprio.
I knew it.
He would do such a good job being just such a piece of shit loser.
Yeah. I mean, you could also slot in like a Giovanni Ribisi. He's agreeing.
I don't know who that is.
Giovanni Ribisi, you know him. Come on. He looks like a rat. He's like a rat face guy. Look up Giovanni Ribisi. You know him. You're like, oh yeah, this guy. He could also honestly play the doctor. He could do either role, I think. Yeah,
you can do like De Niro as the doctor.
Yeah, sure.
I
don't know if he still does that kind of thing, but I don't know what De Niro's doing. What are you doing, dude?
He did Killers of the Flower Moon. He's very good in it.
Yeah.
He should have gotten Best Supporting over Mr. Junior.
Yeah. Robert Downey
Jr. Downey is not his middle name.
Yeah. Yeah, look, folks, go back and listen to the Oppenheimer episode and I don't even remember what I thought about that movie, but let me tell you, I told you my thoughts in that episode.
I thought going into this one we would be not on the same page at all. But I feel like we've actually kind of mostly been in the realm of agreement.
We're in there. Because I really liked it. And then you came in the private back channel and you said, I hate this movie.
Yeah, no, you were kind of getting the live reactions where I was like, because the first like 30 minutes of this movie is kind of excruciating.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I fully understand why you would feel that way. And
yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and not everybody has to.
That's not a failure on your part.
Definitely understandable experience. But then I think if you could stomach that, and luckily I was like cooking while I was doing that, so I was like watching it on tune and be like, ugh, and then I'd go back to cooking, and then by the time I was done, all that was over, and I could just have a good time. And then I was chilling. The movie was a lot better, but.
Yeah, I like it when it's in color. I feel like we could skip Portugal, although I went to Portugal last year. We got to put Portugal in more movies, dude. Portugal fucking rules.
Well, I mean, that was like a set, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't go to anywhere that they were in the movie, but I've been to Portugal.
Yeah, it's you probably could get rid of Portugal. I think once the movie kind of starts picking up speed, like it's like because they were married to the idea of it being like a baby's brain in the adult body, like they have to spend a whole lot of time like doing the sort of he's a pedophile thing, and like that stops being interesting pretty quickly, in my opinion.
I think they're also like, we can't have her grow up that fast. Like, it's going to be jarring to go from like, Daddy, I must stab an eyeball, to just like full sentence.
Is that what she sounds like?
That's what she sounds like. Look, I didn't go to Juilliard like our good friend Emma Stone. I don't think she went to Juilliard, but I'm not an actress like that. But she was stabbing eyeballs, which unnecessary. Didn't need that part. But to go from that to like immediately fully coherent on the cruise, it wouldn't work.
They could have just had her be like naive instead of like acting like a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they could have definitely started her later in her.
She didn't have to make her a child. They chose to do that to be.
They didn't have to make her two.
They did not have to do that.
They could have started when she's like 8 or something, and then
she could have had some sentences and like the implied. If you really wanted to do the implied pedophilia, you could have done it, but you didn't have to start with all the weird. I don't know. It's a very uncomfortable movie until her brain kicks in on the boat, and then you're like, "Woo! Now it's fun."
It's a great time.
She has some agency. Like, now this is not just wildly uncomfortable, and this, it's so icky.
Yeah. Look, good film.
I can't. It's a good movie. I can't recommend anybody watch it.
I would recommend
watch a trailer.
Watch it. I'd recommend everybody. I went into this movie totally cold, and I believe you did as well.
Yeah. I did not know what I was getting into, and I was
I knew about this was Emma Stone was in it, and it's a Yorgos film, and I've seen half of The Lobster. I won't tell you which half.
Is The Lobster good?
I've only seen half of it.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it's a dystopian, absurdist science fiction, romantic, dark comedy drama. Well, you could say the same damn thing about what we just watched.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy just makes the same goddamn movie.
They're very different films.
I don't want to go through this entire filmography though.
Yeah,
another absurd psychological horror thriller.
Of course. They're all in the same vein, but they're all different films. The Lobster, it's the whole movie feels like the first 30 minutes of this, in my opinion.
Well, then I'm never watching that.
Yeah. It's extreme. Well, I don't know if that's true. It's extremely slow. It's extremely black and white. Very quiet and
I can do that. I can do that. It's just
fun.
It's just how uncomfortable this one is with the first 30 minutes. The
quiet. That one's not uncomfortable. It's like what's the fucking guy? Not Clive Owen, but the other one.
I don't know.
Whatever. The guy in The Lobster. He lives in a world where, like, when you turn 30, if you're still single, you get to turn into an animal of your choice, and everyone chooses like domesticated
Colin
dog.
Farrell?
Yeah. Same thing. And then he's like, I'm going to be a lobster. And then I think everybody like tries to kill him. They're mad that he wants to be a lobster. And they're like chasing him with spears or something through a forest. Anyway, I've only seen half the film, folks. I'm sure there's a lot of fans
reading the plot on Wikipedia, which is very long for what it is don't love it.
You know, don't watch a lot. Watch Poor Things, everybody. Come on. Read the book at least.
It is, true. It is a book.
True. Read the book. I wanted to check out the book from the library. I checked out the DVD from the library. And somebody freaking checked out the book. I couldn't check it out.
No.
I gotta wait 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Come on. I just want to read freaking Alasdair Gray's titular novel, Poor Things.
How poor were those things?
The Things?
Honestly, people were pretty rich in this movie.
Yeah.
Outside of France, everyone had money.
Yeah, she was like giving a lot of money away to the crew of the ship by accident. And then she's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I have like secret thousands of dollars.
I kind of felt a little bit bad for Mark Ruffalo at that point. Like, I was like, he deserved it for sure. But I would have been, if I was in his shoes, I would have been similarly like, really? Are you fucking kidding me?
It is kind of like a Dumb and Dumber, you had extra gloves the whole time moment.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why were we doing this? Why did you prostitute yourself if you had money this whole time?
Yeah. Which, to be fair,
you gotta
have quite a brain on you to understand the financial literacy of saving your emergency fund.
She was saving it.
And
then immediately blew it. It's like, just, the girl was not all there, which is the point, but you know.
Yeah. I gained a lot of appreciation for Emma Stone. I think that I've always been a fan, but I've been more of a casual, easy A, super bad kind of fan.
You'd love her in La La Land.
Yeah, I may watch it.
Do Emma Stone month.
We should do Emma Stone month.
Emma Stone. We're just gonna keep doing all these theme months. We're gonna run out of.
We just keep saying we're going to do them.
We're doing JC month. That's fun.
In December.
That's a ways away.
That's a ways away. We got to pick a month that's next. What's June?
June.
Sandler month.
When's her birthday? Maybe we can make her birthday.
Okay.
A month.
Emma Stone. She is November.
Yeah, November can be Emma Stone month.
All right.
And then we go right into old JC month.
Mm-hmm. Do they have any crossover? Is Emma Stone in Sonic 2 or something?
Maybe she'll be in Sonic 3 though.
Come on, that would be something. Emma. Emma is going to be in Yorgos's next film, Kind of Kindness. with
I feel like I would better stomach an anthology film, which that is allegedly supposed to be.
What's that freaking dude's name? Todd?
What dude? Todd Howard?
No. He plays Todd in that show about meth. Anyway.
Oh, Aaron Paul.
Jesse Plemons.
No. Oh, yeah, Jesse Plemons. Sorry, I was thinking Jesse or Jesse. Yeah, I got my, you saw what happened.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
Because then I also switched Todd from BoJack Horseman. So there was a whole lot of crossed wires.
That's valid, honestly. Yeah, folks, check out Poor Things. It's good. It's a ride.
It's not for everyone. It is certainly a ride.
Certainly not for everybody. Your mom you'll not feel like something. This film.
It'll probably be discomfort, but that's better than other movies where we were like, "This is a technically well-made film, and it's whatever." You know?
Yeah. There's enough of those. This movie, we didn't even get into it. Like, technically, the technical aspect of this movie looks incredible.
Oh, it's very cool. The
colors pop, dude.
Yeah, and the costuming is all very fun.
The costume
is visually very fun to look at, and again, the dialogue is pretty funny when it's not, actively creepy and uncomfortable.
Upset by implied pedophilia and like excessive nudity, mostly female, if that changes things.
Like softcore pornography is kind of half the movie almost. at least a quarter of it. Not an exaggeration.
Yeah, and it's a long movie. It is quite long.
It's a big quarter.
Yeah. So, consider that.
We're giving a recommendation with a real big fat asterisk.
Yeah, whoever you are, no matter how old you are, your mom will not like this film.
Not a film for moms.
This is not
if your dad likes this movie, raise an eyebrow, probably.
Ask him who his favorite character is. That's all.
Yeah, you might need to quiz him to see if he got it.
Who's the villain in this film? and your dad just has time.
What's the villain's gender in this movie?
It's a great question. Honestly, we gotta ask that after every movie. It'd be
good litmus tests. Are you watching
to keep
it right?
track? Yeah. Next week, what are we watching?
We're doing
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Wonka, Gene Wilder.
Yeah, Willy Wonka. It's Willy Wonka because they couldn't say Charlie in the 70s. It was racist.
Was it really? Oh, and it's going to be a crisp hour and 38 minutes.
Ooh, love that.
And it's going to be even shorter because I'm going to skip the Goodbye Charlie song because it fucking sucks.
Oh, like when he leaves to the factory?
Yeah, and the mom. Well, no, there's a song where the mom is singing bye, basically. I think it's before he leaves for the factory. And it's at nighttime and it's terrible.
Right. I think I blocked that out. I have such
It's bad. I mean, you'll watch it for the podcast, but it's not good.
Yeah. Look out for that, and I'll share my opinions then. I'm not doing any spoilers like Rick Reel over here.
Spoiler King, Rick Reel, folks.
Telling us his opinion on the Goodbye Charlie song a week early.
Everyone hates the Goodbye Charlie song.
It's bad business.
I think I'm giving people a taste of my future opinions.
I'll give you a taste of my future opinion on this fucking movie. They do too many goddamn golden ticket fake outs.
They do.
There's 6 times where he's like, "Oh, I found an extra quarter. Oh, I didn't win. Oh, I got given a quarter. Guys, it's the time." It's like, just, we get it. We know what's going to happen. It's called the Chocolate Factory. I know he goes. Anyway, I'm just going to replay that clip next week.
Just edit it in. That's
Poor
good.
things. Poor things. They don't make movies like this anymore. All right, folks. See ya.
Goodbye.